What is going on, folks? So welcome to another video of Avioman, and today we'll be unboxing some boxes, of course, that we received from WingFlex. Voila! And here we are, the WingFlex A320 Overhead Panel. Here I am in front of the beautiful box from WingFlex panel. WingFlex, we do have a nice box that has kind of a representation of what you're going to find inside the box. It talks about high performance backlight adjustment, plug and play, built-in stand, which we're going to be talking about that, but they also sent me something else, a nice VESA mount that we can attach to it. External light, and so that's I'm very excited about. There are some lights mounted behind the panel, and we'll discover those lights later on. Of course, it runs the WingFlex software, so we're going to be looking at that, the bridge software as well, once we get to the computer, and the dome lights, which you can see over here. But yeah, let's go ahead and open the box. I don't even have unboxing videos, but let's see. I get a use it. I can show you the manual package contents over here, the 20 panel, overhead panel, in Chinese and English. So we got the overhead panel, USB cable, and home country AC adapter. So you can choose the kind of stand as well. Caution external light settings and firmware upgrade method. So it's actually important because when I first got some of the manual and I know how to upgrade the software. All right, let's remove the foam part over here. Okay, as you can see here, we do have the A320 overhead panel from WingFlex. At first impression, this looks magnificent. It's beautiful to see, to touch, to feel. It does look a premium quality product. It is plastic. It's not like metal or anything, but it does not look like all those cheap plastic that you find some other products. Or it does not look like 3D printed, so you don't see the filaments or anything. It's looks like a molded plastic. So, but enough talking about the panel itself. Let's see what comes with the panel. The overhead panel has some items, some other boxes inside, and we have a nice thick USB B. I think this is called USB port. I haven't used these in a while, apart from the printer, which is a high data, I guess. It's a very durable type of USB connector. Would be nice to see a USB-C at one point, since everything is USB-C at this point. Like, let's see. I believe this is the power supply, so because it still requires some power. Yeah, you got your power supply. In this case, I have the US version, but it come actually. Look at that. Thought about everything. It comes with the, I believe this is the British variant, or some countries in Asia as well. I've seen they have these kind of three-prong thing. The European, like a kind of Italy, this I believe France, these places have these type of switches, and then this one, which I have no clue what that is. But if you're from this country, please leave in the comment box which country this connection from. But yeah, solid little power adapter, quite a bit of length. So over here you can see we have the stand. If you decide to mount this on the desk, you just pull this thing up, and this thing as well, as you can see, and then you just bring this thing up. Ooh. Okay, so we finally figured it out. It took me a second. It just requires a little bit of force here to just snap this thing out, and then you can decide the position you want. In this case, I'll just do the first, second, third, and let's do fourth notch, and the fourth notch here. 2 hands will be perfect. There we go. And as you can see now, it's on its stand. So here we are in front of the WingFlex overhead panel in its stand. So this is its own stand. It comes with 2 metal aluminum stand in the back. As you can see, it's just a different viewing angle. This is the one that's perfect now for me. In my case, if I had it on the desk, I'll probably have it a little bit more tilted towards me. But it is a highly realistic design. Now, let's talk about that. It's not a 3D printed thing put together. It is actually looks like a molded plastic. It has nice engravings. Like it's a very highly defined, redefined, like a highly defined product. It covers all the main operation and normal law flight logics. The buttons are nice and sleek. They're kind of they call it stealthy because basically you won't see the letters unless it's illuminated. For example, here you won't see the letters unless the button's illuminated. It kind of gives a real life appearance. Okay, some other products of cheaper products, for example, you kind of can see behind the button the letters behind, and kind of like okay, it kind of ruins the reality of it because the real Airbus and not like you won't be able to see it. Now, let's talk about the buttons really quick. These are a little bit smaller than the real because, of course, this is a smaller unit. It's not like a 1-to-1 replica of the Airbus A320 overhead panel. It is it goes well with the A320 Cube Series line of product. So it's an 80%. The Cube Series is an 80% product of the real thing. It's not 1-to-1. So even the buttons are a little bit smaller here. So as you can see, my hand is it's not that big. Okay, so I got big fat fingers here, but I got my hand in here, and this is the size of there's 1-2 hands. Okay, it's just the length, and then 1, 2.5, I guess, hands. We can actually find measurements. So we're looking into almost 14 inches across, a little bit less, 13 something, 13 and a half, and then in let's see here, we're looking at almost 14. Same size. It's a perfect cube, actually. Looks like so these, it's not like one of those small Rosefire mini overhead panel or the PU Korea light panel box. This actually has some functionality. There are some functions that you can use on a normal regular flight, and even some emergency situation, because you do still get the fire warning here, and you can press the squib. You do have the agents, agent 1, agent 2 for each engine. The APU fire, you got the test buttons here, you can test it out. You got 3 adheres. Some other overhead panels I've seen online, they only have maybe 1 adhere that kind of controls all 3 of them at the same time. You do what I actually like, have a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 1, 2 fuel pumps, plus the 1 and 2 in the center tank. So the left engine 1 and engine 2. So you have all your fuel pumps in here. The crossfeed, mode selector. Not sure what the commercial button here is. We'll talk about that another time. I'll have to figure out. You do have the tiny little screen, LCD screens for your battery values and voltage, I guess. Battery 1, battery 2, APU gen, external power. So yeah, you got your basic functionality, air conditioning, which I really don't use, to be honest. And in real, it's always set to whatever it is. In real life, you do use it, but in the sim, we don't have real passengers. But you got your wing anti-ice and general anti-ice, engine anti-ice section here. You got your probe heat, crew supply, which you usually do every time on startup before you when you get on the cockpit. Ground control, I press that a lot. CVR test and flight attendant calls if you're using some thing. I want to say not GSX, but there's another passenger control, like a announcement thing that, well, Phoenix uses it. Tolis has it, for example, as well, that you press that and kind of tells the flight attendant to prepare the cabin for arrival, departure. You got your rain, your wipers here in the 3 position. The knobs. Now let's talk about the quality of the knobs. The knobs are fantastic. These are phenomenal knobs. They're very snappy. They snap into place. Very, very smooth control. They don't wiggle except for one. I noticed the overhead. This one is the only one that wiggles a little bit more than the rest. The other don't wiggle at all. But This one though, I do have it's a nice rotary switch. It just moves smoothly. That's kind of your overhead integral right lighting, I guess that's how you say it. Your APU, master switch, and starter. Then you got your lights panel here. Let me say something about the light panel. As you notice, they use regular switches. Okay, these are regular toggle switches. It's nothing fancy, nothing different, and some people have complained about it. I was like, oh no, but if it's an Airbus cockpit, you kind of, your landing lights have the three dotted thing on the switch handle. But hear me out. I did try once the PU Korea, some other product that had actually the landing light switch with the actual three dots, kind of like a nice actual Airbus looking switch, but it kept twisting. Like the knob kept twisting, and it kind of like ruins everything. I rather, this I could just, you barely look at it. No, I don't look at it. I just press it down and up. But if the switch is twisted and kind of like a weird, you start looking at it. Oh man, this is a cheap plastic thing. This is good. I do enjoy this, unless they find a solution to have it where it doesn't twist. But most of the time I've seen those switches really twist and like a turn around and it will get detached. So I think this is not too bad a solution. I guess it's my only disappointment. Not really disappointment, but whatever. You got your standby compass, your dome lights, which activate these two lights, and your annunciator test and bright and dim position light. So if you put it on to test, the whole thing would be what you call it, the Christmas tree, right? That's or your car dashboard, your 2002 Toyota Corolla dashboard. You can do that just like pressing the test switch side here. Let's see, your seatbelt sign, no smoking in 3 position. Now let's talk about this switch. Can you even see it? Let me move this forward. This switch over here, it's not the typical switch. It's not like these switches where you just lift it up, where you could just like move it up and down. This, you kind of have to give it a little move. You lift, there's a lift gate. So you lift the switch up and you move it into position. In this case, I put it on. I want to put it on off or arm, I guess. You lift it up and then bring it to arm. You want to bring it to off position. You lift it up and bring it down 1 notch to the off position. But this is a team of professionals that have designed this product, I would say. The other thing we want to talk about is the lighting in the back. So this unit come with some LED strips in the back. No LED strips, so kind of like a little LED lights in the back. And these lights are an amazing immersive thing to add to this overhead bin. It's an added value compared to any other overhead bin. Again, not overhead bin, that's the flight attendant and me talking, but any other overhead panel, not the overhead bin, but any other overhead panel that I've seen, that they don't have these LED lights that I'm talking about. And it is an amazing immersive thing to do, to be honest. So if you turn on the beacon lights, you're gonna have the red beacon light behind this unit that will lit up, and if you have it on a white wall behind, it will reflect that red beacon light onto the wall, into the whole room almost, because it's pretty strong LED light. And if you're flying at night, it gives you a great immersion. Same with the nav and logo lights. You can have two, one red and one green light on both sides, on the side that will turn on only when you turn on the nav lights on. Same with the strobe light. So when you turn on the strobe light, like in this case to put it on, you have a strobe light thing at the bottom at the back of this unit that will just flash like a strobe light. Again, bringing that immersion to the next level. I would say though, maybe that's one of the, not disappointment, but that's one of the things that we might, if WingFlex can improve, I would love to see, is
to have that synchronized with the real aircraft. Not the dome light. The dome lights and the rest of the light, the front panel, it's all synchronized with the aircraft. But the lights in the back, the immersive red, blue, red and green, and the beacon light and the strobe light that are flashing, those are not synchronized with the aircraft. It is what it is. To be honest, on this point, I'm nitpicking. If you are if you are in a cockpit in a real Airbus, you won't be able to see those lights physically until you just start twisting your head to the left or the right and looking outside the window. You cannot go quite far to see those lights. Okay, I'd rather have it the way it is now and have the price at this price range, because it's already kind of like getting to what I feel comfortable spending for a regular person. You know, I'm not talking about real world pilots or senior flight attendant or CEOs prices. We're talking about a regular person like me, that middle class person, that once you start talking about $600, that's kind of like so what am I skipping this month? That's how it is. Unfortunately, our hobby is an expensive hobby, but thanks to WingFlex, WinWing, and all these companies, let's say it's bringing the price down for us regular flight simmers. Okay. That being said, the price of these units is $600. That's $599 US dollars. That comes with the stand in the back. Does not come with a VESA stand. So if you need to buy the VESA stand, or if you already have it, that's good. Otherwise, you can also buy it directly on the WingFlex website for, I think, $189 US dollars or $129. I'll leave the price in the description or in a little section up here on the screen of the actual price of the VESA stand. But to be honest, this is great on the desk as well. As you can see, I'm pushing it, it's not moving. It's a great quality product, okay? Like we said, these are self-locking and self-resetting buttons. The rotary switch are amazing. The product feels great. It has a nice weight to it. It's not like a cheap plastic product that you might have seen from other companies.
Okay, not as an exciting box as the overhead panel, but this is just hardware, I guess, hardware pieces. You got your clamp here that you put on the desk. Has a little nice foam pad, I think, like a soft pad here. Let's remove the plastic. But there we go. So this is like a little clamp that you put on the desk. Little clamp here. I think you screw this part. I'm not sure. I haven't looked into it yet. We're gonna look at together. We'll mount it. I'll have it mounted. I'm not gonna do a video on how to mount it because there's instruction on how to mount a VESA stand probably. And here's the plate. Okay, as you can see, we have the mount over here, and this is probably for a temporary solution. Like if you don't want to make a permanent thing on your desk by drilling or anything, I think this is just a regular C-clamp type of mount. We do have our cable. Looks like a same USB type B cable. It just, oh yeah, it's much longer. It's a much longer cable. Another power connector, power cable. So this again, this is much longer as well. See, has quite a bit of length. So you just put these two. There's two things. So you just put these two things together, and you decide your height, and then that's it. And that's kind of like all your hardware for the stand. And goodbye box.
All right, friends, as you can see, we are in the Airbus 319 from Phoenix Simulation in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. This is the overhead panel, as you can see on the left side on my monitor here. And on the upper right corner, you should be able to see the WingFlex overhead panel. The WingFlex overhead panel, it's mounted now onto my little desk that I have up front here, next to the monitor, like in front of the monitor. As you can see, we do have already some values on the window, battery windows up there. On the sim, I see 26.9, and on the WingFlex panel, I see 26.9. On the right side, I see 27.7, 27.5, and I can confirm that in the WingFlex panel, it also shows 27.5. We can also see that the GPU is available, and the green button for available it's illuminated in the sim as well as in the WingFlex overhead panel. So the first thing we do is turn on the battery to power out the aircraft. So let's go ahead and turn on battery 1, which is right here. Battery 1 is on, and I can see the other light now shows up off. So let's go ahead and press that. On the Airbus, we kind of want to have a situation where we want to have all the lights turned off. That means it's good, okay? So now you see we had those lights on, and we're going to hook up the external power. So we have the external power available. I'm going to go ahead and press the overhead panel. As you can see, that brings the power to the cockpit. The fire test goes off. It does a bunch of testing. My FCU panels also turns on. It's going to go and run through the self-testing. I'm going to give it a couple more seconds. And the first thing I'm going to do is, it's a bit dark in the cockpit, right? And the first thing you do, turn on the dome lights. It kind of gives you the cockpit light a little bit, right? Inside the cockpit. So let's go ahead and turn the cockpit light into, there's 3 positions, and this is the dim position, okay? And then you have the bright position. That is really bright, folks. So let's just keep it to dim, okay? And later on, what we're going to do actually is probably turn off the dome lights so you can see the rest of the light. Next thing you do, it's kind of like bring the panels, the panel alive. So I'm gonna go ahead and twist this knob, like turn this knob up, and voila. I might actually turn off the dome light so that you can see better. I'm just gonna go with we're not following checklists or anything. I'm gonna start from the top. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the knobs of the adheres. IRS1, and you see it turns on here, and then IRS2, and it gets the fault light comes on, and then IRS3, and the fault light also comes on. Let me turn on the fuel pumps. Let's do it again. So fuel pump 1, 2, and then 1 into the center tank, and the 1 and 2 in the right tank. The other thing I usually do is the emergency exit light. So this is where I was talking about the exit line, emergency exit light is a different switch than the others. So it is like a switch that it's a kind of like a lift, has a lift action. So you kind of lift up the switch and then move it to the position you want. So in this case, we want it into the arm position. Right now it's an off, and I moved it to the arm position. And you see the emergency exit light just went off on both the sim and in here. Flip the nav lights. Now this is where you notice something different. So we have a bunch of LEDs that are connected to the switch. Based on the position of the switch, they will turn on or off. In this case, we have the nav and logo switch, which brings the red and the green lights of the aircraft. Give it a couple of seconds, and then I go ahead and turn on the starter switch. Starter switch is on. The light turned on the panel as well as in the sim today. But if I go ahead and twist it up into slow, as you can see, it will turn on the wipers. I'm not sure if you can really see it, but you can hear it probably. There you go. And then you can also increase the speed of that. Okay, so now that we now that we have the wiper, we can turn them off because it's dry and there's nothing in it, so we can ruin the wipers. Now if I turn the beacon light, now you can see on my walls the flashing red beacon light, correct? You see it on the both sides here. You see the flashing beacon light. Okay, so then the other light that we can trigger is the strobe light. So let's go ahead and push that to the strobe position. Now you see the strobe lights are on, and on the wall you can see all the three lights now. You can see the green light from the nav, red light from the other nav light, and then you have the beacon light kind of like a little bit over on the top side, and then you can see the strobe lights just on the whole wall in front of me. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks WingFlex for showing us this amazing product, and we'll see you next time